Okay, I hope that all of you are aware that UPSC have postponed the prelims. Okay, now it is scheduled to be on 10th October 2021. In this last 1 month, we were hearing a lot of news regarding second COVID wave, and it have affected most of the students' preparation. Even our institute also could not able to function properly. Uh, Fortunately, we all are working from home. So in future, all our classes will be in Zoom for time being till the lockdown restrictions are over. Okay. So one good thing UPSC have done is that UPSC have given a clarity yesterday that the prelims will be held on 10th October. So it means that if you take it from today onwards, we have around 149 days to qualify for our prelims. We'll be starting our economy session very soon. So before we start, I need to give you an idea. Okay. See, if you study this 149 days in a proper systematic way, all of you can qualify prelims. This is the most important thing you all have to keep in mind. All of you can qualify prelims because the time UPSC has given you is more than sufficient. First, you need to understand this what you have supposed to do in this 149 days to qualify prelims. So I'll just give you a few brief idea about the UPSC cutoff in the last few years, because that you need to be very aware. Okay, if I want to qualify prelims, which will be held on 10th October 2021, what strategy I should follow. Okay, if you look into the last 2020 interview is not over, so that 2020 cutoff UPSC have not released it. So if you look into the last 5-year cutoff for GS paper 1, the cutoff is ranging between 98 to 116 in the year 2018, and in the year 2019 the UPSC prelims cutoff is 98, that is in GS paper 1, and that is for general category. And if you are an OBC, the cutoff will come down. If you are if you are economically weaker section, again the cutoff will come down. And if you have other reservation, then again the cutoff will come down. But I'm addressing it that I'm believing that all of you have to compete like a general category students. That is the best way for you to qualify prelims. So if you look into the general category, only in 2016 the cutoff was very high, that is 116 marks was the cutoff. But that year the prelims was comparatively easy, very easy. So that's the reason why the cutoff have gone. But after that, the paper have become very tough, especially in the year 18, 19, and even in 20. So I'm believing the cutoff will be around 100 to 105 in 2020 also. So in 2021 also you can expect a similar cutoff. But what I will suggest you is that you should try to get around 120 marks, 120 marks. That is your aim. Because if you make sure that you're getting 120 marks after 10th October, you will not have any doubt regarding your result. You can, after a 1 day break, you can start your mains preparation. So I will suggest all of you that your primary aim is to score 120 marks in your coming prelims. It means that you have around 149 days. Okay, so that you keep in mind. And I hope that all of you are aware that GS paper 2 is just a qualifying paper. Its mark will not be calculated for cutoff. It's you need to score 33% mark. So I hope that you are all aware of it. Okay. Now we start our economy classes. I just want to show you the importance of that. If you want to get nearly 120 marks, you are supposed to know the number of questions being asked from each subject in the last 10 years, because from 2011 only UPSC have changed the prelim syllabus. The current pattern is changed from the year 2011. And I just want you to see the questions being asked from the last 5 years. I have given you the 10-year analysis. If you look into the last few years analysis, that is, even if you're taking from 2016, So if you look into the economy, okay, from 25 questions are being asked, exception being 2016, there have been 34 questions. Okay, so in economy, the trend is that if there is 24 questions, nearly half of the questions or sometimes more are from current affairs and remaining are conceptual related questions. And again, I want you to tell you that around 17 to 18 or 19 questions are asked on history and culture. Even from history and culture, few current affair questions are being asked. So you are supposed to know that if somebody will have a doubt that how, sir, in history and culture there will be current affair. It is basically when there is a news associated with some historical figure, or if there is any anniversary, 50th anniversary or 100th anniversary. So then there is a chance that there will be some news regarding that, and then that a particular question on that particular topic can be asked. So in that way, from history and culture also, there used to be questions, especially even from cultural part. That year, that question have been asked because that particular topic have been used in the last 1.5 year. And in relation to polity question also, mainly they are conventional questions, but there are current affair questions are there from polity, but those current affair questions are from the last 1.5 year or 18 months current affair question. But in interestingly, the polity current affair questions are mainly asked if a current affair is there, from that current affair they mainly ask conventional question, generally used what all you study from Lakshmikant or any other standard textbook like DD Basu. From there only UPSC ask question, but why that question have been asked that particular year, it's because of that current affair. So from polity also you get current affair. Geography, conceptual plus current affair is there. If any recent events happened, from geography also questions comes. So you need to have an idea the number of questions being asked from generally from geography. And environment is a very crucial subject. In environment, majority of the questions are current affair. Lot of questions comes from environment, current affair questions come. Same in the case with science and technology. In the science and technology, nearly 80% of the questions are current affair. International relations are purely current affair. And then there are once very rarely society or social justice question comes, or very rarely general science questions comes. So I will say society, social justice, general science, you need not to focus on these two subjects. So I will say that if you focus on these initial 7 subjects, that is from economy to international relations, you can answer more than, means you'll be nearly more than 95% of the questions are coming from this particular 7 core subjects, and nearly 40 to 50% of the questions are mainly predominantly current affair. And that is the key. So mastering, you being thorough in current affair is a very key thing for you to attain the score near to 110 or 120 for you to qualify prelims. So that is what current affair, by having a very command over the current affair, you need to means you can qualify prelims easily. Okay, when I say you should focus on current affair, it doesn't mean that you have to skip conventional part. We believe that you will study conventional part in a very systematic and proper way. You are supposed to know all the important questions from these 7 core subjects. Okay, so what I was suggesting is that, okay, so you are supposed to see, you have to expect that, okay, nearly at least 40% of these questions will come from current affair. And now interestingly, since UPSC have changed the date, prelims date. Okay, last year also due to COVID, the prelims was postponed. So what happened is that they have asked questions nearly till August month, even the early September. So I will suggest you that you are supposed to know very thoroughly current affairs starting from January 2020 to August 2021. So what all happening now also, today this is May month is going on. What all happening in May, June, July, August, that is also very important for you. So that point you keep in mind. Okay, since the prelims have been postponed, the current affair associated with these months also you can expect. So that core point you keep in mind. So in our current affairs session, we are considering this. Okay, so we will be taking current affairs up till August 2020. So those who have already joined our current affair class, without anything extra, you will get a current affair session up till August 20, and we will be having an additional test paper for the months from April 2021 to August 2021. Okay. Now regarding current affairs, okay, I hope that most of you are just beginners, maybe who are giving the first. Most of you are giving first attempt or second attempt. So I consider them to be a beginner. Okay. So, but there are, if you look into the UPSC crowd, okay, the aspirants who prepare for this exam, there are so many. When I use the word this, when I use the word, try to understand that veterans, it is nothing but those who are preparing for civil service for quite long term, 4 year, 5 year, 6 year. Unfortunately, due to their some problem in their preparation, they could not able to make it up. It's, I strongly believe it is due to their strategy. They have to find out what it is. But for you people, okay, since you are beginners, okay, since you are giving your prelims in your first or second attempt, by having a command, by having by having a very good command in current affairs of these 7 core subjects, definitely you can beat them in your prelims. Okay, so what I am saying is that, okay, so make sure that you are very good in current affairs. So definitely our current affairs session will help you to have that edge. So even if you are preparing for a quite long time, definitely that even veteran also have to be too good in current affair. So in current affair part, there is no edge for anyone. So those who study properly, definitely they will have that edge, and that can make a difference in your prelims. Now, I already told you that having good in current affair doesn't means that you should not give importance your conventional part. Okay, so be very good in a conventional part. Okay, so what I'll suggest you is that, okay, so to know to study the conventional part thoroughly, okay, one important thing what you all are supposed to do is that please look into the previous year questions of all the subjects. Okay, in our website, 2011 to 2020 subject wise questions is available, but I suggest not. So even though the pattern have changed from 2011, even the questions in the market, the questions from 1995 is available. You can go for any publications, okay, previous year questions publications. If you means if you solve questions from the year 1995 till 2020 of all these 7 subjects, make sure that you solve the previous year questions. Okay, I have seen this is a common trend I have seen with many of the students who could not able to qualify prelims. I asked them simple one question. Okay, when I ask them, when students come and say that, sir, I worked hard so much, I have studied many I had done 2 or 3 times revision, but still I could not able to qualify prelims in once or twice continuously. So one first core, the one main suggestion I give them to all my students who come with me the same problem is that I ask them this one simple question. Okay, have you solved the previous year questions? So majority of them gives me an answer is no. Okay, they have not done it. Okay, so most of you, if you have not qualified prelims, you ask yourself, have you solved the previous year questions from the year 1995 to 2020 or till before your prelims? If you are, I think the answer will be no. So that is the main reason you could not able to score well. You don't know how UPSC asks questions. Okay, so if you don't know how UPSC asks questions, how UPSC put you in trap in each questions, then qualifying prelims will become a difficult task. Okay, so make sure that you do that. And also by solving previous year questions will give you another advantage, that by solving previous year questions, you from each subject, okay, you will get to know the core areas of each subject. For example, if you look into economy, money and banking and external sector are always a favorite area of UPSC. So if you look into the 2011 to 2020 questions, it is very clear. On an average, minimum 5 questions. Sometimes there will be more than that. Minimum 5 questions will come from money and banking, and 5 questions will come from external sector. You can see it in our website. Okay, so this we get to know only because we were able to segregate the previous year questions. It's like that. In polity, a core area is parliament. Nearly 3 or 4 questions will be always be asked from parliament and state legislature. So every subject has some favorite part for UPSC. From there, lot of questions is being asked on a regular basis. So what I will suggest you is that, okay, by solving previous questions, you have these edge. Okay, and also you will also understand that how current affair question also been asked in these last years. Okay, so one another suggestion which I want to give you is that, okay, so since prelims is an objective exam, prelims is an objective exam, and UPSC has given you 4 choices, and you all know that out of these 4 choices, one is an answer. It's the answer for your question. Other 3 are wrong. But if you look in a smart way of that question, okay, it means that unlike mains, in prelims, answer is in front of you. Okay, so if you are studying any subject, whether current affair or conventional part, make sure you study that topic in a thorough manner. You should have proper understanding of that concept of that particular subject, and you, along with having proper understanding, also if you're aware of the pattern of question UPSC is asking, then definitely by using elimination method and other strategies, you can eliminate the other 3 choices and you can come to an answer even if you are not confident about a particular answer. So this is also, you also have to keep in mind. Okay, so solving previous year question also will give you that idea, okay, how UPSC asks question and how you can eliminate by using a general awareness of all these subjects of these 7 core subjects. Okay, so that is another key thing you need to keep in mind. You have to be very cool in prelims. You have to read the question very carefully. You have to identify the trap set by UPSC and try to answer it. And finally, what I want you to understand is that most of you revise. I know all of you revise when whoever is serious. They go for a lot of revision, but the revision I will suggest you is you should go for a smart revision. Okay, when I say smart revision is before revising a subject or before studying a particular subject or reading any textbook, I always suggest you to before you should ask one simple question. Okay, if I am studying Buddhism and Jainism from history or from ancient history, I should ask myself why I should study this topic. What is the reason for it? The reason, then you should have an answer. Answer is that, okay, this is a favorite area of UPSC. On a regular basis, at least one question is being asked. Okay, and that you should know. That from this particular area, UPSC asks question regularly. And you should also know that before reading that particular subject, that topic, you should have gone through those questions. After that, you should read that material. So if you do that, definitely it will make a big difference in your approach. And when you read that particular topic, it will be very different from simply reading a particular textbook or simply reading a particular chapter. And if you come across, okay, if you come across a previous year question, when I say previous year from the year 95 to 2020, definitely you can note down from these areas of these topics UPSC have asked question. And if you please note down, there is always a chance that from the same area UPSC will ask question again. So if you're aware that from each subject, from each textbook, these are the areas where UPSC have asked questions in the last 25 years or more, that area you should revise it more than compared to other topics. So this is what I say regarding smart revision. You should be very well aware of. In the first reading, read every subject very properly with proper understanding. In your second reading and third reading, which is considered to be a revision, You need not to read the entire textbook or entire material, because it will take a lot of time. You cannot able to revise it properly. So by knowing where which part to revise, especially through UPSC questions, can give you an edge over others. So these are the basic things I want all of you to keep in mind.